From Fox 8 Sports, this is the Overtime Podcast.
From the Saints indoor facility in Metairie, Louisiana, this is the Overtime Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Fazende, riding shotgun as he does each and every podcast. It's Andre Johnson
Jr.
Do not forget the Jr. Very important. Remember the JR at the end of the name. Before we get into today's content, be sure to like, to share, to rate, to review. If you're watching us on YouTube, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Get the bell notification for when we drop that fire content. Also, hello to the Gulf Coast Sports and Entertainment Network. Glad you found us here. Please stay here. Tell your friends about us here on the Gulf Coast Sports and Entertainment Network. And if you're not here, you've been missing out because we've been here at every single Saints weekday training camp practice. Great interviews, great insight. It's just been a good vibe all the way around on the Gulf Coast Sports and Entertainment Network for Saints training camp. Speaking of Saints training camp, Andre, we have reached an interesting spot in the Saints training camp schedule. Today marked their 11th practice of training camp. This is their third week. So they've been banging. They've been going against each other. They've been hitting each other for a long time. And I think the last couple of practices you can kind of sense that wall has been hit a little bit, and it's time for some new energy. And what do you know it? The perfect time for new energy because the Jacksonville Jaguars come to town for joint practices on Thursday. We will get into that, obviously, in just a second. But first things first, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good because I'm excited to see the Saints hit somebody that's wearing a different jersey, and I think this team is starting to feel the same. You know, you mentioned the interviews on Gulf Coast. You guys talked to 5 players today. Later in this podcast, you'll hear from 3 of them. You hear from Kirsten Miller, who's a rookie in a very interesting situation because of the injury to Brian Brzee. You hear from Isaac Yiadom, somebody who was a Saint, left, came back, and plays a very crucial position on this team. And you'll hear from Bub Means, who is going into year 3 and about to take part in his first joint practice.
How about that?
A lot of interviews coming up, Sean, but first of all, we have to dive into the big event tomorrow. Saints versus Jaguars, not in the Dome, not just yet, but here in Metairie in a joint practice.
Well, first off, it's a good opponent. Jacksonville Jaguars, joint practices. They're going to get a ton of first-team reps. So a lot of starters are going to play a lot of ball. It's going to probably be, these joint practices are probably going to be the most of where these starters play. It doesn't sound like the starters are going to play a whole lot in preseason games, especially not in preseason game number 1 against Jacksonville. But it's deeper than that for me, Andre. The big takeaway from today's practice for me was this team is ready for another opponent. They're ready for an opponent. They're ready to hit someone else. It's kind of hit a little bit of a stalemate, a little bit just where they're at. And it's also, now the familiarity has really starting to pick up. I mean, these guys did the same plays, the same players, the same concepts. You just wonder how much they're picking up on each other's tendency. They need a fresh look, some fresh energy. They need that right now, and Jacksonville will provide that. It also will act as a confirm what we're seeing, or maybe provide information of maybe we're not quite as far along here as what we're seeing. And I really talk about that. It's the defensive side of the ball. They have own training camp. This is practice number 11, another day. Defense had a tremendous victory. I had one really good pass offensively. It was a great catch by Bryce Lance. Double coverage, was able to wrestle the ball away. Deep throw from Spencer Rattler. But outside of that, the offense did not look sharp. They did not look precise. This is back-to-back practices where that has been the case. It's been a little more spurts. It's been a little more, okay, that period was good, but maybe not necessarily the entire practice, at least when you add all the practices up. With Jacksonville coming to town, we'll see if the defense is able to have the same sort of energy against their offense. That will confirm the defense has been playing well, really well, and they could be legit. But also, offensively, if this offense is able to move the ball better with a little more precision, a little more pace, a little more rhythm against Jacksonville's defense, now maybe you're looking at, okay, maybe the Saints defense is just really that good, and the offense is just they're not quite there yet. But against other opponents, they look much better. So that provides some clearer information and some clearer data points for an evaluation of where you want your offense to be. Because right now, if we're being honest, the offense has not been as good or been as strong as the defense. It really starts at the snap as well. That front has been giving the Saints offensive front problems pretty much all practice.
Absolutely. And, just looking at these joint practices, it's something we talked about when the schedule was announced. We kind of surmised that because you have so many joint practices in such a short period of time, the starters would get the majority of the reps there and the backups would get the majority of the reps in the preseason game. And Kellen Moore essentially said as much in his post-practice interview today. And I think that's the best case scenario, because I think as a player, obviously as a fan, everyone sees the preseason game. There's a little more hoopla around it. But I think most players would tell you probably get more out of a joint practice than you do out of a preseason game. Because if you're Tyler Shuck, let's say you get 3-4 drives in a preseason game, you might only throw 6 passes. You may not get red zone work. How many of those are dump offs? How many of those are in controlled environments? In a joint practice, you can pretty much control everything. So to see the starters getting the majority of the work in the joint practices is exciting. And then you look ahead to the preseason games, and I think the opportunity to see the backups is so valuable, because a lot of the best training camp battles right now are between backups. I want to see Bryce Lance out there. I want to see Barryon Brown out there. I want to see Jaden Price out there, who's kind of emerging in the second team as a DB. He got some first team reps today at practice. I want to see those. Spencer Rattler. I have seen more deep balls from Spencer Rattler in the last 2 weeks than I have in the last 2 years. There's a freeness that he is playing with now that he's not competing with Tyler Shuck or Jake Haener for the starting job. Now that he's competing with Zach Wilson for QB2, there's a different freeness in his game, and you see that. So I'm excited to see Spencer Rattler and Zach Wilson go at it. So the backups in the preseason games, the starters in the joint practices, it's a great opportunity for everybody on this roster.
Yeah. And it's so needed. I mean, Kellen Moore said it's the perfect time for us to have this. It is. I think that's his way of saying, okay, we've been beating up ourselves enough. Now we got to see what we can do against another opponent, because let's be honest, you don't play against yourself in the regular season. You play against other opponents. And I'm really curious to see the dynamic of, okay, how well does this offense play against another defense? And if they play well, then I will feel so much better, even more about this Saints defense than I do even now, because it looks like the Saints defense is playing fantastic right now. And if the Saints offense is better against the Jaguars defense, I think that only solidifies the defensive performance, and it gives you some more clarity of where the offense currently stands, and vice versa. The defense is able to shut down a pretty potent Jacksonville offense. You only confirm what we've been able to see. But if the reverse happens and they're not quite as good, then how do you take it? Yeah. That's the chess match. It's all about how you process all this information. So it's going to be fun, and I'm ready for those joint practices on Thursday. Speaking of practice today, we were able to talk to a lot of players after practice today, and they all kind of had the same message: eager, ready, compete, and just kind of ready to face another opponent. One of the guys we talked to was rookie second-round pick Christian Miller, who you guys will see really engaging personality, smile on his face, and I think they're counting on him to do a lot this year. So this is Juan Kincaid and myself's interview with Saints rookie Christian Miller.
All right, bringing in Christian Miller, but we're going to call him Percy because that's what the people call him, right?
Yes, sir. That's the nickname.
This camp, how's it going for you so far?
Man, it's going good. It's a blessing. Every day I walk in here, it's still like I'm kind of like a kid in the candy shop still. I'm still, and my brother right there. But I'm kind of like a kid in the candy shop every day. It's kind of like, but it's a blessing. Like, I'm doing what I love. I always dreamed of this. Like, it's crazy. So I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be in this situation.
You're now, 11 practices in, third week of camp. Generally around this time, you can kind of feel, you kind of got to grind through it a little bit. What's your mentality as you get to kind of this middle wave of training camp right now?
The biggest thing is just staying healthy. I think that's the biggest thing, staying healthy. And people hear body, but staying healthy mentally. I think as a rookie, it can be a lot on you, mentally taxing. Because, football going to be football. That's X's and O's. We used to that. We've been doing that since we was kids. But I think it's the mental part of the game, understanding how to be a pro, knowing how to show up every day and be the same person, the consistency. So I think that's all the stuff I'm working on and trying to be a pro with. So that's the biggest thing.
Have you found it to be an easy transition?
I would say it's easy because where I'm at. I got people around me. I got help around me. I'm in a good situation. Got a great team, great coach, great teammates. So it's been easy because of them. But it's still a transition. Any transition is hard.
Of course.
But I got guys, so I can't complain with that.
For 11 practices now, you guys have been have been going against each other, and it's been a grind. There's no doubt about it. Sometimes the offense does well, sometimes the defense does well. How much are you looking forward to facing a different opponent, both in joint practices and also the first preseason game in a couple of days?
I'm excited. I want to compete. I want to go against the best. I want to do the callousing and get callous myself. That's a part of football. That's part of the game. So for me, I seek everything I seek. I want it. Like I want the contact. I want to get better. I want to apply pressure. That's my mindset. So I'm kind of excited going into this now because I kind of get to go against somebody else and kind of get to be a little bit more dirtier. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I was going to say, it probably feels like you're seeing the same thing every day, right? It's repetition over and over again. Does that make it easier as a defensive player when you're going against this offense? And that's why you guys, for the most part, we think the defense has kind of been more dominant with training camp so far.
It really make it harder. You know, Coach Keelan, the offensive staff, they do a good job of drawing a lot of stuff up. So every day is something new that we got to be prepared for. So they do a good job of keeping the defense ready. And Coach Staley, he do a great job of allowing us to understand concepts, what's going on, certain things, X's and O's. So for me, it's like wax on, wax off. It's Karate Kid. You got to fall in love.
You took it back old school with Karate Kid.
You got to fall in love with the grind. You got to. That's the only way you get better from that.
Yeah. You mentioned Coach Staley. What about this system was easy for you to transition into, and what about the system maybe was a little more difficult to transition into?
I think the easiest part is it's kind of similar to Georgia's defense in terms of like a lot of the calls. I know them. Like the playbook was not hard to learn, but I think what they want me to do inside the playbook, that was hard for me because yes, it might be the same call, it might be the same alignment, but what they want me to do inside that play is different. So my body and my mind has to be used to something new. So for me, it's been a challenge in terms of just like letting loose and being able to play free and not be in a box. So for me, it's like Coach Staley, they let me kind of play my game and be free, and I love it.
It was tough to see Brian Brzee go down early in this training camp, but you guys, I imagine, around him and behind him, see it as an opportunity, especially for yourself, a guy that's drafted so high, and they're saying, this is a guy that we want to contribute right away.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where it's like, it's sad because guys like Brian I look up to. When I was here for the 3 months I was here, I see why he make a lot of money, and I see why he the best at what he do because of how he works. So I think every day I be trying to emulate what he does in just terms of just trying to just be a better pro, be a better player, give extra effort. And it's not easy, but we got guys that's ready. We got a lot of good guys in the room. KB, Vern, Nathan Shepard, a lot of guys in the room that's ready to go and that's ready to step up. You know, we got our vet Devon, Godchild, so a lot of guys that's ready to step up and ready to do what they're supposed to do. And I'm ready too.
There were a lot of reasons this team targeted you and drafted you. But one of the main reasons was your ability to play against the run. Is there a different mentality when you're a D tackle and you're there to stop the run first? Because it feels like that was one of the bigger reasons why you were drafted by this team.
You got to be mean to play that run. You got to be mean to take double teams. You got to be selfless to take double teams, triple teams. And it's kind of a mindset where it's kind of like I want to put the team on my back by being selfless. It's not always easy, but it's what we love to do. You can't get sacks if you can't start that run. That's the biggest thing. You got to start that run first and second down, be able to go rush that faster. So that's my mindset, and that's how we get gritty. That's how we make plays.
You have a sack goal this year, first year? You got a number in mind, right?
I want 5+.
Okay.
5+.
All right.
I want 5+.
Be a heck of a contribution in year one, huh?
Man, it's going to be one. I feel it. It's going to be one. God willing, it's going to be one.
Okay.
All right.
Kristen Miller.
Percy.
Kristen Miller.
I heard it first, man.
All righty.
There you go.
All right. So Percy Miller, we should say,
Percy.
which should be, should connect with a lot of people down here. That name. But look, first up, I love the vibe. I love the vibe he put out. He's very excited, eager to be, and just happy to be here. And I think he's going to contribute right away because they need him to contribute right away. Yeah. I think he brings a skill set that this defense needs, his ability to stop the run. He also said, you heard that, 5.5 sacks or 5 sacks. That's a lot for a defensive tackle. So Miller to me is someone that's going to get on the field early and often. And I'm very anxious to see how he does and how he fits in because they got a lot of bodies there, but they're going to have to sort through it now with one less from Brian Brzee. But all in all, you can give your opinion, but I think he came across very well in that interview.
Oh, definitely. And he's a guy who we're looking at because when we found out that Brian Brzee would miss the entire season, the first names that popped up, Kristen Miller, because you just drafted him in the second round. Vernon Broughton, who's been playing really well so far at camp since he's been getting more reps. And obviously Devon Godshaw, who played that position last year. So I'm really interested to see how Miller steps in, especially in tomorrow's joint practice, and how he performs with all eyes on him. Now, somebody else who, on that defensive side, in a very interesting position, because obviously number one set with Kool-Aid McKinstry. Quincy Riley has set into that number two spot. But there's been so many other corners and other DBs kind of making their name in practice. And the next guy that you and Juan Kincaid talked to in today's practice, Isaac Yiadom, is one of those guys. We're going to listen to what he had to say.
All right, bringing in cornerback Isaac Yiadom. We were just talking that I cannot believe you've been in the league almost a decade. And when you first start out trying to make your way in the NFL, you hope for that kind of length in the league, don't you? And here you are.
100%. It seems crazy. I was just talking to some of my young guys about it today, and when we first came in, when I was a rookie in Denver, I think guys like DT, Demarius Thomas, and Emmanuel Sanders, Chris Harris, we thought those guys were so old, but I think they were like in year 8 at the time, you know what I mean? Or they were probably around 9, but to be here is just a blessing at the end of the day, and got so much knowledge from it over these years.
And that's, when you look at your career and your staying power in the league, and I saw there was a play earlier today. I mean, you rip it out of Bryce Lance's hands right when he's about to pull it in on that back shoulder. The term I would use, competence. There's a football competence to your game. I mean, is that something you've always just kind of maintained throughout your career to kind of last as long as you have?
100%. Yeah, I was blessed to be drafted in the 3rd round. But I always kind of felt like I had that underdog to me, you know what I mean? I'm from a small town in Massachusetts, went to play college football for fun, not knowing much about football. Literally was just a game, so I just felt like I always had something to prove. So it's just something that has to stick with you every single year, because as you see, these guys are coming in, they're younger, fresher, more competitive, faster every single year. So you just got to have something about you.
I think it's interesting because last year we sat up here and talked to Cesar Ruiz, and they were calling him the OG of the defensive line. That's who you are now, of that secondary. What are some of the strangest questions you get asked by young players that maybe you didn't ask back when you were in that situation?
I don't know about questions, but they'll make fun of me. Like, coach will put up some ancient film from 2001 or something like that, and they'll be like, hey, there go Ike right there. There'll be somebody with dreads from a long time ago. There go Ike. But Coach Staley do this fun thing where he'll be teaching our defense, and he'll show clips of me back like my rookie year or my second year. He's like, Ike's been doing it. We've been doing it the same way since 2018. So it's not any secret recipe. So that's pretty cool to see stuff like that.
There's an interesting scenario in the defensive backfield right now, because the two guys playing corner with the first team right now has been two very young guys. Obviously, you got Kool-Aid, third-year guy, Quincy Riley, the second-year guy. You and Martin are getting a lot of second-team reps, but you guys have played a lot of football. How are you sharing your wisdom onto those two guys that are obviously they're expecting big things out of?
Yeah, for sure. I think it goes both ways. You know what I mean? Those guys haven't played much football, but their football IQ is really high. They're very skilled at what they do, so they're able to come back and share some stuff with us. As you see, like, Q got ball skills. That's one thing about Q. Q got ball skills. I think he has some of the best ball skills in the league. His ability to track the ball, his ability to catch the ball, that's what makes him special. Kool-Aid is a really smart player. He's physical. He's really good at press, and he's getting better every single day at a lot of different stuff. So for me, like Q, I'm always talking to Q about tracking the ball. You know what I mean? And we're always working on different ways of what he sees and stuff like that. And then me and MJ being behind him, of course, we know football. We played a lot of stuff, so we could always tell him, like, hey, this is from our experience, this is what it is, especially like when we playing different receivers that they haven't played against yet. I think I played against every receiver in the league for real, and MJ has too, so we able to tell them what they're going to get and what to expect.
When you came into the league, when any player comes into the league, they want to play as much as they can. They want to be a starter. But have you had to suppress your desire to be a starter with the realization that I'm going to be on the field, help this team wherever I can? And that's kind of a message you pass along to the younger players as well that you've learned over the course of 9 years?
100%. I preach that all the time in the special teams room, all the time to the guys. I'm always like, if it ain't for special teams, I wouldn't be in the league right now. And I tell them a story about year 4 when I was traded to Green Bay. I really believe I might have played 20 defensive snaps that year. Maybe only 20 defensive snaps, but I might have played 300 special team snaps. And I just shared that to them. Like, that's the only reason why I was able to keep a job. That's the only reason why I was able to get on a new team going into year 5. So, like, it's just as important as defense or offense. Not everybody can be a star on defense or offense, but you know what I mean? Special teams, that's something you can control. You go out there, do what you got to do, and you're going to make it happen.
It's a survivor mentality, isn't it? That
100%.
a lot of players maybe not realize, understand completely when they come in the league.
100%. You got to find a way to get it no matter what.
You guys have had a great camp defensively as a unit, collectively. How much are you looking forward to the joint practice with Jacksonville and then the preseason game against Jacksonville, just to kind of see where you are against another team?
Nah, we're looking forward to it. We get to play a lot of good teams, a lot of good receivers in these joint practices. We're focused on tomorrow right now, and we're really excited about that, to go against their receivers, their guys. At the end of the day, we're trying to compete. We're not really trying to compare ourselves to anybody. We just go out there, compete, get a chance to play and face somebody other than ourselves. And then in the preseason games, just get a chance to show everybody what we can do. The young guys get a chance to show everybody that they belong in the NFL. So I'm excited about that.
Okay, defensive back Isaac Yiadom, almost 10 years in the league, still going strong. Appreciate your time, my man.
Thank you.
Isaac Yiadom, very interesting position, because when he left here a couple years ago, he was coming off, I think, a very underrated season.
Very
and
much.
the impact that he had for the Saints. Now, last season when he came back, he didn't have the impact that obviously he hoped he would have. But this year, there's a need at that corner position. He's going to have some opportunities.
Well, and I love both he and Emerson as your two depth guys at that position. You got two young guys on the outside in Kool-Aid and Quincy Riley, but I love the idea of having two seasoned vets behind them who were both very active. Today, Yiadom was very active. Yesterday was Martin Emerson's best practice. So those are the types of depth pieces that you need to have any successful season. And you talk to him, he's got that veteran calm about him. You just kind of can feel he's in a good spot, a good place. He likes it here. He connects here. So Ike Yiadom is a player that I think he's not going to be a headliner, but you go through the process of a season, there's going to be, oh, there he is again. There he is again. So Ike Yiadom, a great player. Another player we were able to talk to, Bub Means, wide receiver in a very packed room. He had a lot to say about this training camp.
All right, here with wide receiver Bub Means in year 3.
Yes, sir. Going in year 3.
What have you taken from those first 2 seasons to kind of better your chances of staying on this roster, making that final 53 for year 3?
Now I just have a routine. I'm becoming more of a pro, as in taking care of my body, what I put in my body, how I recover, how I prepare for the day. So I think I took that, and it's just giving me a better chance of being successful in this league.
In your position, I don't think you have any other choice but to be competitive because there's so many guys right now. How are you approaching the competition part of this?
I love competition. Like, we all eating. I love seeing everybody eating, everybody feast. So everybody's gonna thrive in the room. We breeding competition, and may the best man win. Like, we want to win games, so we got to have the best people out there. So we got a great wide receiver room now.
You talked about taking care of your bodies. That's something it took you 2 years to learn, because I know they do it a little bit in college as well, but it's a different level here, isn't it? The off-the-field stuff you got to learn.
Yeah, it's just a long season. It's a real long season. It's 17 games, plus the playoffs, if you're fortunate enough to make it there. So, yeah, you got to learn how to prepare and take care of your body. It's not really for week 1, 2, 3, 4. It's really for week 12, 13, 14, 15. So, yeah, that's really the biggest thing about the adjustment from the college to the league, just taking care of your body for a longer season. It's brutal. They expect you to perform week in and week out, no matter if you got off the plane late. No matter, like, it's what it is. You got to go perform.
You've had a good camp. You've had a good camp all the way around. But I've noticed you and Zach Wilson might be forming a little bit of a connection. It feels like you guys are on the same page from a chemistry standpoint.
Yeah, we hooping. My boy Zach hooping.
Yeah.
Yes, Sirski.
Yeah. I mean, just kind of describe just how you guys have gained that chemistry so fast.
Just the reps. Like, I'm out there trying to get open, make his job as easy as possible, and you can see the arm talent, so he's just making the throws, and we making plays together. He making me look good, I'm making him look good, and now we both shining.
You've got Jacksonville coming in.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, the joint practice will tell a lot about where this team is, more so than going against your teammates every day.
Right. Yeah. I can't wait. This is going to be my first actual joint practice ever. So I can't wait to go out there and compete with them boys. But I feel like we're going to have fun tomorrow.
Have you asked questions about to guys that have gone through them before?
Yeah, they described it like it's a little more competitive, but I feel like I compete against the best defense in the league every day. That's how I feel, in my opinion. So, like, if I go out there and I compete against my teammates and I feel like we have success, like, then going against another team, my teammates compete with me at the highest level. So it's just another day at the office for me.
Let's stay right there because you said best defense in the league. They've made some plays. How are they like challenging you guys to get better? Because it feels like they're making some plays out there.
Oh yeah, they're making plays. We compete every day, from the O line, D line, to the linebackers, running backs, to the DBs and receivers. Like, we compete every day. We compete for every loose ball. We compete for every jump ball. We compete for every snap. Like, we trying to make each other better. Iron sharpens iron.
Okay. Bub Means, appreciate
Bub
you, my man.
Means.
Appreciate you.
Stay healthy.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for joining us. All right, so there's Bub Means. Like the player, flashed early in camp. It's a little bit of a chemistry developed between he and Zach Wilson. Numbers are numbers, though, man. Yeah. You got 11 receivers, 12 receivers, whatever it is. At most 6 spots. He's going to have to probably kick it into high gear over this next phase of training camp.
Definitely. Obviously, Olave, Tyson, Barryon Brown, Bryce Lance, all the rookies that we've been talking about. You've got Trey Palmer, who also has special teams impact. You've got, some of the guys who have been here longer, like Kevin Austin Jr. So Bub Means is kind of the forgotten guy in that room, but I'm sure these joint practice, like he said, this is his first joint practice. He's going to have a chance to make a statement against a really good defense.
It's very important. You're moving into a new phase here, so you got joint practices, preseason games. For guys like him, this is the perfect opportunity to step up and shine. They will get a ton of reps. All right, that's going to do it for us. We'll be back to pod after joint practices on Thursday. So for Andre Johnson Jr., I'm Sean Fazende. We'll catch you guys next time on Overtime.